assists and a plus 40 are the two highlights. 9.7 rebounds as well. Go right ahead.
So you can get used to coming in here after games?
Uh, I mean, as long as I play the right way and play hard, I feel like anything's possible. You know, you don't have to be a stat, you don't have to be a scoring machine, but you gotta make a way on the floor.
For you individually and for this group, was this as close to a perfect game as you can play, or can you get better?
I think there's always room for improvement in every win, even in losses. But I think this was actually a very well played game for all full 40 minutes. So.
Was this a game where you guys kind of knew going in that you were significantly better than your opponent, and that you felt like you had to impose your will right away?
I wouldn't say that we came in knowing that we were better. I would just say that we had a different type of focus coming off of Christmas break, especially after a loss against Florida. So I think we just had a more locked in focus going into this game and being ready, more prepared for playing this team.
Okay, and now how do you feel about your group going into conference play?
I mean, this is always a good booster, confidence booster for going into conference. But then again, like I said, like we can always learn from each game, and going into next week, we just gotta work and practice and keep getting better.
So, about 10 minutes left in the second half. Tyke goes in for the breakaway dunk and misses it. Were you guys giving it to him on the bench, like during the timeout?
Nah, I mean, it's just like we just wanted to see it. We wanted to see some type of flashy dunk or something. So, I mean, it definitely looked like he had some dead legs when he got up there. So.
So that's something he's got to work on in practice.
Yeah, nah, we be dunking in practice. I tell you, we be dunking in practice.
So, just an average night's work for you guys?
Yeah, we were just moving the ball well. We got good offense, which led to good shots, and we were moving it. A lot of the baskets we had were assisted, which is always good for us, and that's what we're trying to focus on doing coming into conference play.
After the last game, was it a focus for you guys to attack inside, attack in the paint? Or is that always a focus for you guys?
I mean, it's always a focus. Because once you get in the paint, it really gets the defense to suck in. You can kick it out, move it. So coach always harps on us about getting paint touches, whether it be feeding the post or just simply just driving in there and kicking it.
And when you have the early success as a group that you guys had, does it just make you feel like you can continue to do it over the course of a game?
Yeah, most definitely. We just gotta focus on staying locked into the game, whether we're up 20 early or anything. We just gotta lock in, keep our focus on the game, and just do the right things, and good outcomes will come.
Well, and that's interesting. Do you think you guys maybe got away from your focus a little bit tonight, or was that not an issue?
I mean, they were most definitely shooting some shots in that we kind of were lackadaisical on defense, but we were just out there having fun, really.
And now obviously conference play starts. What's your expectation for conference play?
Well, I mean, preseason we were picked to win, so that's obviously our goal. We're trying to win. We're trying to make it to the tournament. It's the ultimate goal.
And this is probably a good way to kick that off, right?
Yeah, most definitely. It's definitely a good momentum going into conference play this Sunday.
And I'll ask you, just like I asked Omar, Tyke misses that dunk. I mean, what's going through your mind when you see him take off for it? Do you think he's going to make it?
I didn't know what he was going to do, honestly. We were talking about somebody trying to windmill, and then he said he thought about it last minute, which we'll never know, but we all saw the outcome. It's all right. It happens, You miss some, you make some.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
All right, thank you, guys.
So pleased with the way we played, especially in the first half. That's a team that has a lot of three-point shooting, so we expected they could do early what they did in the second half. I mean, they made 9 threes in the second half, but if you go through, they got 3 starters tonight that shoot over 40% from 3 on the season, and the one guy who doesn't is 33%, which is about national average, and he was 5 for 6 in their last game. So he's getting it going. So they have so much shooting out there that I was concerned that they might do in the first half what they did in the second half, throw in a bunch of threes, which they did a good job of and made a lot of nice plays to get open shots. So I'm pleased the way the game went. Like, we were not going to win. I know we were up, 25 or at halftime, but you're not going to win by 50. Like, that's a good coach and a good team for their level, and they just kind of kept coming at us. So give them credit. The second half was tighter because they were good, not because we were necessarily bad.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask you, because obviously they're a Division III team. Was the thought process in scheduling them just because they give you a different look than other opponents?
Yeah, it's kind of, honestly, it's several reasons. So, like, you could go the whole computer scheduling route, right? So when you play these games, they don't count on our computer rating, which actually helps you, because if you play someone who is ranked low in Division I, it hurts your power rankings and stuff, which impacts NCAA tournament seeds if you get where we'd like to get in March. So there's that reason behind it. There's also the reason behind it that you need to play some games where you can get everybody in the game, which tonight turned out to be easy because we only had 9 guys. But usually we have 14 guys, and they all want to play. So, you get a chance to throw people in that don't get to play a lot, that come to practice and work hard, go to the weight room and work hard. So you get to, hopefully, you play well and can get a lead and get everybody minutes. So there's that piece of it. And then you also, coming off Christmas, is one of the most difficult times of the year. We haven't played in 7 days. In between, our guys left and went home to be with their families, which is awesome. But you don't even work out for 3 days because most of them go home. They need a little time to recover, and they don't necessarily have access to a gym. So they take 3 days off. And so, you kind of need a game where you just kind of get yourself going again and get used to the running up and down the court and running plays, because this time of year practice is very difficult for every team in the country because we're doing the same drills that we were doing in September when we started. That's a long time ago. So guys get wore down, I think, to do the same stuff over and over. So those are kind of the main reasons why we would do it.
And obviously each season evolves over its course. Where do you think your team is now on that kind of evolutionary scale?
Well, I'm really pleased the fact that we got through the non-league 8-5 for who we played. I mean, we played Hofstra, who we've not had a good history with, and we had a big win there. We played Yale, who's picked to win the Ivy League. We played Bryant, who's picked to win the NEC. We played Wagner, who's picked second in the NEC. We played Kansas, who could win the national championship. We played Florida, who was ranked 14th in the country 2 polls ago. So when you start going through and looking at who we've played, and then you throw in a good Sacred Heart team that plays hard, and I just think you kind of get going. And don't forget St. Peter's, who's picked behind Iona. That's a borderline top 25 team. So we have played a really hard schedule. So to get through that schedule 8-5 with the amount of new faces we have, is awesome. And then when you pile on the cherry on the sundae is we've missed 40 games with guys on our team. And it's not been for the reason that everyone in the country's been missing, which has been COVID. We have not had that as a major problem for us. We've missed 40 games total by guys on our team that we were counting on to play. So what's happened to us a lot is we have 9 guys tonight. We had 9 guys against Hofstra. We have 10 guys against this team, but they're not the same 9-10 guys. And basketball is such a rhythm and timing sport that the concern is how do we continue to build rhythm and confidence moving as you go through the season when it's changing faces and plugging different players in. So I'm thrilled to death that we're 8-5 with who we've played and the hand we've been dealt with injuries and illness and a variety of other things. So I'm really happy. I mean, would I like to be 13-0? Yeah, of course. But I mean, I think we're in a pretty good spot heading into the conference.
To that end, obviously you guys got some less than ideal news before the game about the UMBC game. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of like last year where you just got to stay flexible and stay ready. It stinks because it was our home opener for the league. And, you want to get in a rhythm of playing. And anytime a game's going to get reshuffled, now we're going to be staring down a 3-game week at some point, whether that's the next week or the week after. and you'd way rather have 2-game weeks. I mean, 3-game weeks are hard on everybody. They're hard on the players mentally, just because of the preparation and the scouting report stuff they've got to absorb. So not ideal, but hopefully that's the only game it happens. I do think you're seeing a rash of that around the country, with teams being shut down for a short amount of time, but hopefully this is just kind of going to be an issue for early January, and we can kind of get in a rhythm of playing our normal schedule by the time February rolls around.
And I guess to that end, obviously you have the game, I believe it's Sunday against Hartford. What do you do in that window between the Hartford game and your home opener? Yeah,
well, I honestly will probably give them a couple days off, and then we'll do some individual stuff with guys, and because it can't be monotonous guarding the same guy every day in practice and doing drills. But you're 1,000% on top of it. We'll adjust. We'll have no choice. And I do want, if I can, and I know this wasn't a question, but if you get a chance, I please would love it if you could just talk about the crowd. Was awesome tonight for Christmas break, kids off school. The staff did a great job hustling, getting groups. That's the best crowd we've had during the time where students have not been here. And that's fun for the guys. They like that. So I really appreciate people coming out and supporting the guys over a busy time when they're, getting off of work and families and stuff like that. So if you can sneak that into your post game, I would appreciate it. How's that for begging? All right.
I talked to Omar and Jaden about it. I'll ask you, Tyke has that dunk attempt late in the game. Is that something you want him to work on?
Oh, no. I hope we never see that again. But, no, I think he changed his mind late on what he was going to do. I mean, Tyke is one of the most explosive athletes we have. He could pull that dunk off 100 out of 100 unless you decide midair to go to it. So I think he had a late thought. I played a ton of games in college, and I was never on a fast break where dunking was an option, so I can't really coach him too well on that. All right. Hey, thanks. Have a great New Year's.